Hi everybody, Forerata Live coming to you again with another Keyforge video. This time it's the stream of me playing in the Knowledge is Power KIP Shadow Worlds Last Chance Qualifier tournament. It was a 3-round tournament, Archon Solo, best of 1 in each round. Hope you enjoyed the stream. And this is the deck I'm using in the video today. It's a Kota deck, one of the best in my collection. It's Fiddler, Marks Tidecrest, Arrowsmith. Really interesting deck. Really enjoy playing with this one. It's got a lot of great combinations in it. I particularly enjoy the Dis suite that I've got here. Double Arise, Fear. I've got a Gateway to Dis to help clear the decks. Key to Dis. Hand of Dis, there's a Dominator Bauble, and then really the key combo in this deck that can sometimes get you to victory is Ember Imp and Restriguntus. So Restriguntus to try and lock your opponent out. Ember Imp really limits the number of cards they can play. Logos, you've got some good tools in here as well with Bouncing Deathquark, Fogify, you've got a library access, couple of phase shifts, Scrambler Storm, a Twin Bolt Emission, so quite a few useful tools in there. And then this is a Horseman deck, so people were pretty excited about these when they first came out, and I really enjoy this one. Got all the Horsemen, double Terms of Redress, Inspiration, Glorious Few, Blinding Light, so again some really good combinations there. It's a super fast deck, so 19 speed, 78 SAS, you can get through this deck really quickly. So here we go, live with the KIP Last Chance Qualifier for Shadows Worlds, just getting into the first game. So just trying to connect up with my opponent. So let's see what they've got. They're running with Marmoken the Teacher Butcher, Dis, Logos, Shadows, Too Much to Protect, Bait and Switch, couple of Ghostly Hands, Poison Wave, Relentless Whispers, looks pretty nice. Arise, Control the Weak, Gateway to Dis, yep, Drumball, Hope from Future Self, they've got some really nice cards. So they're going to start. Let's see what comes up for me. Not ideal. I'm probably going to mulligan. Okay, just waiting for my opponent to mulligan. While we're doing that, I might just move a few things around on screen. No, that looks alright in terms of being able to see the screen. Okay, let's get back into this. Okay, he's down with the Doc Bookton. I mean, it's tempting to go library access, although it's pretty early on. That's all I can really do. So, not your best play on your first turn, but at least I've got a phase shift to get something down. Brilliant. And a Scrambler Storm, so they can't play action cards. Let's get the Key to Dis out. Anomaly Exploiter, so this is working okay so far. Scrambler Storm. Okay, and that's where the run's going to end, so they can't play any actions next turn, which is handy. I've got the Key to Dis out. Three Sanctum cards in hand, but nothing too special. One of my rises has come up already, so this is quite a nice deck I'm running with. Fiddler, Marks Tidecrest, Arrowsmith, Double Arise, Fear, Gateway to Dis, Restriguntus. Let's see what they've got. So they're really getting out there with a nice Logos suite. Which I don't particularly like. So I could use here Glorious View to pick up 4 amber straight away, Horseman of War, and then I think I'm probably going to have to do that. It's a great opportunity to use Glorious View. So that puts me on 4 amber straight away. I might actually wipe them right now. Yeah, I'm going to wipe them right now with key to dis. Puts me on 5. Put down my Horseman of War. Then I'm pretty much going to just probably use my inspiration. Play this action. And I'm on 6 amber, so I'm going to end the turn in check, which is quite a nice way to start, given playing library access on the first turn wasn't ideal, certainly not my preference, but seem to have got a good start, and I've got a handful of disc creatures now, plus I've wiped them off the board. So I've got to be pretty happy about that. So they're running some shadows. Right. Not ideal that they haven't actually got anything out in play. So I don't really want to play Gongoozle. I've got 2 Arises. Do I play Dis and just get my Pit Demon out? I think I'm going to have to go Sanctum and just Reap for 1. Which sounds rubbish, but puts me back in check. He's on 3, so let's see if he can take me off check this turn. So Logos out again, so it keeps me off check. So this is a bit better now, so I can actually get my Gongoozle out, take out his Dexter, and hopefully this will put me far enough ahead. So there we go, Dexter's gone, get the Pit Demon out in play, get the Dominator Bauble out in play. Not really got anything particularly great I want to bring back out of the discard pile at the moment with my 2 Arises, so a bit frustrating that they're in hand, plus I've got the Fear, so I think I'll probably just end my turn there. On 7 amber. He's on 3 amber. I'm still hunting that first key, so definitely the Glorious Fuse really put me up ahead. TMTP's me. Not enough to keep me off the key. So I'll probably go Dis, steal 1, use action to steal 1. Use the Dominator Bauble to use my Horseman of War to Reap. And then let's look in the discard. What have I got? I don't have any creatures in here. There is nothing I can arise. There's nothing I can fear. I'm actually going to discard one of the Arises because I'm just not cycling my deck at all at the moment. And he's going to catch up with me pretty quickly. I do want to keep an Arise in hand and the Fear, so a bit frustrating. Okay. Probably going to look to go Sanctum really, unless something comes up. Tendrils of Pain, so I've lost my Sequus. They're on 6 amber. And they've done some damage to that Mind Barb. Okay. Okay, Poltergeist, yep. So he's just getting rid of my ability to steal. Okay, who's he going to make me use? So he's on 8, so this is a bit of a problem for me. Let's see how we're going. Okay, so it looks like I'm picking Sanctum. Not much opportunity to get him off check here, so yeah, that early advantage pretty much gone. Let's get this horseman out. And reap. And that's pretty much all I can do this turn. Okay. A bit more coming into play here. And some stuff now finally in the discard pile that I might actually be able to bring back with this Arise. So the Pit Demon and the Sequus are in there. So he's definitely racing ahead of me now. I feel like I should really be going Dis to try and get rid of some of this stuff. So let's use the Bauble. I'll reap to just do a bit of spot damage. Put the Ember Imp in play. Get Dr. Escatera back. Now, what have I got coming up? Still got my Shula to come. More likely to get some Sanctum, to be honest. So, I think I'm going to discard. I'm going to Arise my Sanctum. Just to get the Sequus back, because it gives me a bit of capture. Not much I can do else this turn. And of course I pick up a whole load of Logos instead. Okay, I knew he'd have to go after the Ember Imp, but it basically forced him into another Logos hand. And there's the Dexter coming back. So I think I'll go Sanctum. I'll Reap to get rid of Dr. Escatera. Reap. And then get Sequus into play. Leaving me with a decent hand of Logos still to play next turn. But that's all I can do. So a bit of a slow-paced game. I'm on 5, he's on 3. Not really able to get a decent advantage at the moment, to be honest. Yeah, just looking at some of the comments in chat. Yeah, not many creatures out on the board, to be honest. I think we've both got decks that have plenty of board clear. Also, I can see he's got a Drumble. Seen the too much to protect already, so that's handy to know. Okay, so they get to see my hand, so he knows what I've got. I've not got a Sanctum card in there for him to purge, so so he's already up onto 7. Thanks to bait and switch and a ghostly hand. So I can steal 1 with the Shula. I can capture 1 with Sequus. I'm going to struggle. To keep him off. So I can probably do it if I Shula him to steal 1 and then use my Dominator Bauble to Reap with Sequus. Doesn't quite get me on check, unfortunately. And I can't destroy Dexter. That's probably going to be my best play, at least it keeps him off check. Reap to capture 1, gets him off check. Hand of Dis. I think I probably prefer pretty much any other card in my draw at the moment, and he's not putting much out into play, so I will discard that just to try and get through another card in my deck, and that's it. So at least I'm in check on the end of that turn. And I've seen bait and switch, I've seen his too much to protect. He's got a Drumble in there. Just seeing what else. Haven't seen the Time Traveller yet. Okay, so he's Shulaing me. So he's back on check. So probably looks like I should go Sanctum. Can't really use my Horseman of Pestilence without taking out my Horseman of War. So I think I'll go Sanctum for sure. Reap with my Horseman of War, just sacrifice him. Fight with this guy into the Dexter. Reap with Sequus to capture another 1. And then get Lord Golgotha into play. Okay, putting me on 8. And end the turn there. So Lord Golgotha handy for a bit of splash damage. At least Sequus and Lord Golgotha both have some armour, so Okay. Use Shula to fight Sequis. So he's got that amber back. Can he take me off check? He's using this. I guess I'm a little bit worried about the Drumble at some point coming into play. Oh, he's played a rise. So he gets Shula and Terra. So that Shula's going to come down surely to steal. Drumble, yeah, there we go. Where's he going to put the Terra? So I'm pretty sure I can still get out of this okay. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to get him off check. That's the only slight problem. Yeah, Terra comes down. So it puts him on 10. So that's a nasty combination, clearing me out with the Drumble and then putting the Terra down. So I can kill off Drumble pretty easily, no problem in fact. That's going to give me the most advantage though. So I think my best play is going to be to fight this into probably the Terra to take out the Drumble. And then I'm just going to reap for 2. He's not really got anything significant left. Might as well play Blinding Light. It stuns me but stuns him. So just stun those disc creatures that are left and end my turn. So bit of a problem in that he's on a huge amount of amber, and not much I'm going to be able to do to take him off check, so I think he may well have this one. I've really got nothing big in hand. Yep. It's going to say basically if he can get into check, I'm in trouble. I don't think I can actually get him off check. I don't think I can do it. I've got nothing there. If I could reap, I'd be in business. Because I could just nick it with a dimension door. But I've got nothing. I can get rid of his time traveller. No, I think this is game over. Yeah, that's it. Great game. Got a very nice deck there. Cool, so that was a good game. If I'd had maybe that Logos out earlier, perhaps I'd have done a bit better. Yeah, I could have done with any of these terms of redress then, or Restriguntus. If I'd just cycled through those Logos, maybe that would have worked a lot better. So a bit of a shame there. Lost that first game. Okay. So let's just duck out of that. Just report that. So that was interesting. I mean, this is a good deck. Let me just flick over to show you what I'm using. So it's Flexive Fiddler, Marks, Tidecrest, Arrowsmith, Dis, Logos, Sanctum. So quite a fun deck, and it's got some great cards in it. So you can see in that Dis suite, Double Arise, Fear, Gateway to Dis, Gongoozle, Hand of Dis, Dominator Bauble, Key to Dis, Ember Imp, Pit Demon, Restriguntus Shula. Ember Imp and Restriguntus coming out together is obviously pretty disruptive. Sometimes you can get a nice Restriguntus lock on. Logos, couple of phase shifts, library access. So again, if you can kind of get through a whole load of those cards in a library access turn, that can be quite powerful. Sanctum, it's a Horseman deck, so Horseman, Lord Golgotha, Sequis, then it's got double terms of redress, Shield of Justice, Inspiration, Glorious Few, which got me a cheeky 4 amber in this game, and Blinding Light. So, you know, how did it play? Pretty much as expected for me. I think I needed to turn through the deck a bit quicker than I did. I got stuck with those Sanctum cards out in play, and really I ought to have got Logos out instead. That would have sped things up a bit. So let's see how everyone else is doing. Okay, looks like the game I'm in is not quite on challenge properly. I don't know if it was the opponent I was playing, but you know, I checked in, but for some reason it's not been showing us, which is a bit strange. There's a few games still to report. Yeah, looks like a couple of games still playing. So, interesting. So this is the KIP Shadows World Last Chance Qualifier matchups. Solo Archon, best of one. And like I said, I put this deck in because I quite like playing it. It's pretty disruptive. It's actually got quite a lot of recursion with the two arises, with the horsemen allowing you to bring horsemen back. So you can get to a point where you can pretty much dominate the board. I like the Dis. The Dis has got plenty to kind of clear the board. So yeah, lots of good stuff in it. What can I see at the moment? Just checking on Discord. So it looks like they've had to manually update that game. See how things are tracking. Just waiting for the remainder of the games to update. So there's a couple of minutes left for this round. So yeah, pretty happy with how the deck played out. Up against a pretty nasty deck, as I guess all of these people will be. Certainly pretty competitive in terms of the types of players that we've got here. I've played a few games with this deck. It's probably one of my strongest decks. Was a bit of a toss-up between this and another one I've got, the Advisor That Delights Queens, which I've also been playing with a bit, which similar setup. I kind of like playing with the Horseman deck just for the fun of it to an extent. Like everyone went crazy for them when Kota came out, and then realised they probably weren't actually the strongest decks in the world. Actually, this Sanctum Suite with what I've got in here is pretty good, and with a different run of cards in that last game, I definitely could have taken it. So it's a pretty fair matchup. But well played to Conti Carli. He definitely had the edge at the end there, and the Drumble play. You know, letting him pick up the extra 2 amber with the terror by drumbling me, that really hurt. So that combination of kind of arise, drumble, terror did some pretty serious damage to me. Okay, now we're in. Okay, so I'm up against IR 1337. Winter of Skullwick. So, Cowards heading into the fray, Gauntlet of Command, Screech One Bang Bang, double Drummernaught, double Gang of Chieftains. So it's a Drummernaught Gang of Chieftain combo, double Professor Sutterkin, triple Panpacker Anger, Panpacker Jagger Piranha Monkeys, Duskwitch, Key Charge, Persistence Hunting, Regrowth. So some really nice bits here. It looks like I'm going first. Interesting. I might keep that hand, and I'll get our Lord Golgotha out into play. So I'm thinking going Logos phase shifting into Horseman of War will let me use him on my next go. So that could be interesting. So we are underway in the second game. Hopefully you're seeing that alright on stream. Okay, so he's got a Dusk Witch out, creatures enter play ready, so I need to take it out. So I think I'm going to go Logos and it should work. So first let's get Scrambler Storm out. Then I'll phase shift. So I didn't spot the persistent hunting there, but I can still take him out. Take out the Dusk Witch. I'll get rid of the Horseman. So both on one amber, but at least I've dealt with his Dusk Witch. Bit of a shame that Lord Gargoltha there had been exhausted, otherwise I'd have had a nicer play, but cleared out quite a lot of my hand there. So happy with that. So they went with Untamed. A couple of cards came in there. Right, Sutterkin. Quantum Finger Trap. Archimedes. Another Sutterkin. So how can I take these guys out? So I've got a Gongoozle, so I can kill off one. The Sutterkins will go back into his archive, so I'll probably want to take the Archimedes out with either the Gongoozle or the Twin Bolt Emission. So interesting, I could put down my Horseman of Famine and destroy Archimedes, then put those in play. What's going to put me further ahead? That would at least get rid of everything. Doesn't really net me any amber. Leaves my Twin Bolt Emission for another turn. Let's do that. So, play this creature, take out Archimedes, and then fight into the Sutterkin, just to clear them out, without them going into his archive. So, not made much progress that turn, but overall dealt with a big threat. If he'd got those Sutterkins rolling, I'm in big trouble. He'd have been drawing at least 3. If he got more Logos creatures out, even more. Okay, so I picked up a hand of Dis. Sort of keen to... It's a bit early to try and get the Restriguntus into play, but he had 4 Logos cards out last turn. Drummernord. Okay, let's see what comes down next. Bingle bang bang. Foozle. Okay, let's just see how things are looking. Yeah, I'm definitely having some problems here with my camera, so apologies for that. Okay, so that's caused me a few problems. I think it might be a good turn to go dis. See if I can force him into some kind of at least disruption. Stop him using his Brobnar. Yeah, let's go dis. Get rid of the bingle bang bang. These Drummernauts are causing me problems. Let's gongoozle his Gang of Chieftain. Okay, discharge Katsari Research, not much risk of me getting to 8 amber anytime soon. Get the Dominator Bauble out and play the Guntus, and I'm not going to let you play Brobnar. And let's see, I mean, the Guntus is pretty much going to get wrecked next turn, but that's kind of fine. That's okay. Let's see what he puts out. So can't play Brobnar. What's going to help me next turn? Still got that Twin Bolter mission, so it'd be handy to get rid of the Gang of Chieftain if possible. Igor comes into play. So it's another tricky game. I'm up against a strong deck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So he's got 5 Logos in there. It's discarding Untamed. I kind of feel like he's probably got a load of Untamed in there. He's gone with Logos though. 5 in the discard, 2 on the table. Just moving me around and then destroying everything. Okay. Probably just going to get my Logos out. It's not doing me much good at the moment. I'm on 2 amber. Get rid of Igor. Fogify. Ganymede Archivist. In turn. Right. So I've got 3 Sanctum creatures in the archive, in discard rather, and Restriguntus. So Rai's handy for getting Restriguntus back. Let's just see what he does. So he's going Untamed. So we played 3 Untamed cards. I've got a Shula. It's just whether I kind of try and wipe the board and arise my Guntus back. Pamgaea. It's got 3 of those. I might just put some Sanctum in. I think I'm hoping I'm going to draw a bit more useful stuff. So let's go Sanctum. Play that creature down. I'll stun. All is untamed. And end my turn. Okay. So this is a bit more like it with the Restriguntus. Getting the Ember Imp in play so they can only play 2 cards can cause quite a lot of problems. Let's see what he goes with this turn. If I get a good feel for what he's got in his deck. So it's going untamed again. Clears the stuns. Regrowth to put Ganger Chieftain back in their hand. So they played 1 card. Let's see what they're up to. Right, so what did they do there? Regrowth, then Nature's Call, then put them back down. This didn't play much out of his hand. So I'm sort of tempted here to Gateway to Dis, Shula and Arise my Guntus. So I'll go Dis. First up, Dominator Bauble. Reap. Play the Gateway. Play the Shula to steal 1. Play the Ember Imp. Play Arise to get all my disc creatures back, which is just the Restriguntus. So Restriguntus, your opponent cannot choose that house. So I'm going to stop him playing Brobnar. I don't think he's got much untamed in his hand now. I'm going to prevent them playing Brobnar and see where we get to. So I only draw up to 5, but I'm in 7 amber. So he's going Logos. Titan Mechanic. Moves a few things down round. Sort of tempted just to reap and then put can't quite get into check again, but he's not close, so I'll go Dis, reap, 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 and I'll send the Titan Mechanic back to his hand, just because I want to keep these 2 creatures in play as long as possible. Nothing. And 10. I'll keep that arise because if he clears off my deck, yeah, drawing into some nice Sanctum cards here. So my options with the Arise, I can either pick up those Sanctum creatures, have a big Sanctum turn. I'm really kind of hoping to pull off the lock. I'm just going to go again. Reap. Because if he can't break this Guntus lock, I think he's cycling the odd cards, but unless he picks up something nasty and untamed that's going to clear things, I am gaining a big advantage here. So 3 to 8 amber. He's having to go Logos each turn. I know he's got the Titan Guardian in his hand. Neutron Shark, okay, there we go. He's lost his key charge. Okay, but I'm on 2 keys, he's on 5 amber. I mean, it's a bit mean. But I think I'll Arise. He's definitely got a load of Brobnar in hand. Once he gets into check, I'm going to hit him with these Terms of Redress, so let's end the turn. So I'm on 3 amber, he's on no keys. He's conceded the game. So the Guntus lock, yeah, sorry. So the Guntus lock worked, so that's brilliant. Okay, so this guy, hey, I apologised, but he said, hey, I'm running spammy gang drama combos, so I'm just telling him, guessed you had lots of Brobnar in hand. Cool. Okay. So hopefully this all reports automatically. That game's finished. So still having definite problems with this camera setup of mine. It keeps shutting itself down. Don't know if that's any better. Okay, so just checking on challenge, showing my win. So that's a pretty dominating win to 0 keys, and I guess that is the real power of this deck. Getting that Guntus lock off, I was quite surprised how effective it was. He obviously couldn't cycle through to get anything to kill it. He did manage to take out my Restriguntus and Ember Imp, but I had another Arise, so that was pretty nasty play by me. Put them straight back in play, and at that point he conceded, hard locked out. So I guess he'd drawn a load of Brobnar into hand. I had a feeling he was trying to build up for another Gang of Naught combo set of plays. He'd brought the Gang of Chieftain through the regrowth back into his deck, so it looked like he was lining up for that. Not cycling many cards on each turn with the Untamed. So it was worth playing. Normally I'd prefer to see Restriguntus and the Ember Imp coming up kind of on the second key a bit later in the game, generally finding that that's more effective in terms of getting into that lock position that people have tried to build up key cards in their hands, and you can get it into play then and do quite a bit of damage, but obviously proved very effective. Okay, just checking how things are going. So obviously finished that round pretty quickly. Yeah. Okay, so sorry, just checking what's happening on the Discord. So currently 1-1. It's 3 rounds. If you go 2-1, you qualify for Shadow World. To be honest, the timing of Shadow Worlds, I think, over the next couple of weekends. Yeah, if you go 2-1, you qualify into Shadow Worlds. To be honest, with the timing compared to Australia, I'm not really sure it's going to work. I think most of the games are kicking off at about 1 or 2 in the morning. 5-hour sessions, so it doesn't really work practically for me. But this is in the evening in America, middle morning on a Sunday for me in Australia, so that's working out pretty handily. Just keeping an eye on Discord. So there's another 10 minutes in this round for most of the players, but yeah, I managed to pull off a very quick win. Got to 2 keys pretty quickly, but also managed to Restriguntus lock my opponent quite early in the game with a bit of good luck, a bit of guesswork, a bit of deduction that he was holding a lot of Brobnar, and he couldn't cycle into anything in Untamed or Logos that was able to take my Restriguntus and my Ember Imp off the board. And between the two, you know, that's a pretty nasty setup. You can only play 2 cards. If you're going after the Guntus, you can only play 2 cards. Otherwise, you've got to go after the Ember Imp first. They're both difficult to remove off the board. I mean, if you've got something like a Twin Bolt Emission, fine, boom, done. I have then an Arise that put them back into play, so making it pretty tricky for my opponent. So doing okay at the moment, 1-1. Interesting to know if I can pick up a win in the second round. I think they've been struggling with players. There's a few people turned up late. There's some people that didn't play their first game. Okay, so just in the gap between rounds here, so just finished off my second round match with a pretty quick win. Got a Restriguntus hardlock in play using this deck. I mean, that's one of the nasty things in this deck for sure. If you can get the Ember Imp and Restriguntus into play and lock them out, which is what I managed to do, then there's very little your opponent can do. They did cycle for a few rounds trying to get something, managed to get both those cards off board with a Neutron Shark, but then I was able to come back because I had another Arise and put them straight back into play, and that was it. That finished the game off. So we'll see who I'm paired up in the next round. There's another 5 minutes before the third round comes off, so I'm currently 1-1 with this deck. Tough first match, but couldn't really cycle through my deck quickly enough to get to some of my capture. The double terms of redress really can get you out of some problems on this one. Didn't get to it in the first round and lost 3 keys to 2. Really just couldn't get him off check on his final key, even though I'd got enough to forge on my next turn as well. So it was going badly from a few turns before the end. Probably should have played out my hand of Logos a bit earlier. I had 4 Logos cards in hand, but nothing on the deck, and I guess I hung on too long with some of my Sanctum, hoping to pick up some kind of capture in the 1 or 2 cards I was cycling each turn. Second game obviously went an awful lot better. Managed to get some decent control of the board, used that gateway to dis at the right time, got my Restriguntus and Ember Imp out in play with a Shula, and yeah, after that was just reaping for 3 and focused on trying to lock my opponent out the game. And even if you don't get the hard lock, which I did manage to get on this occasion, but even if you don't manage to get the hard lock, I've definitely found that that combo just disrupts your opponent for a couple of turns, and even if that's all you manage, you know, that can be a killer if it stalls them in the middle of the game. Okay, so just tracking how the matches are playing out. I think there are 1, 2, 3, 4 games still in play by the look of things for this round. It was originally going to be a 5-round Archon best of 1. They've dropped it down to 3 based on the number of players. There are about 45, 50 players in this game. Few people dropping in and out, so it's been a bit disruptive in terms of matchups. So in the first round I was with someone who hadn't actually checked in, so we played not in the KIP rooms that they've set up. I think that's a nice feature on KIP. To be honest, playing in Australia, I've struggled with KIP to actually find games when I'm on in the evening. This is the middle of the morning for me, so you know, a different time to play. There's obviously a few people on in the evening in America at the moment, but still finding TCO, to be honest, easier to match up for games, easier to find games when I need one. Been on KIP and sort of sat around for 5-10 minutes waiting to see if anyone will come on, messaging on some of the Discords, but I think there's still a kind of critical mass of players on TCO at the moment. They've made a few improvements as well, but I can see the way the KIP website is set up, they're obviously getting it set up really for this tournament kind of play. So once you're drawn into matchups, there's a specific room for you to play in with your and your opponent's name on there. So it makes the organisation quite a lot easier. They've obviously got some stuff running at the back end, which is helping them pick up game results, integrate with Challenge. So that is how they are doing it. So looks like there's just one more game to finish, couple more minutes between the rounds, and then it will be the final round. So just tracking that at the moment. So I've left the deck analysis up on the screen for the one I've been using. Like I say, it's proved to be quite an effective deck against a range of opponents. It's got a lot of different tools. Yes, if you can get the Restriguntus lock off, that's one way it can win a game. The Horseman, Terms of Redress, with the Arises and the fact that with the Horsemen themselves you can kind of recur them and bring them back. Again, I found that to be pretty useful from time to time in just keeping some of those creatures coming back onto the board, and then just having them there to reap. And that seems to be the way that I generate most of the amber, by trying to control the board, get 3 or 4 creatures into play from one particular house, and try and pull ahead that way. So I think there's just a couple more minutes to go on this final game, unless they've posted a result. No, they're still playing. I think it might be one of the same players that went to time in the last round, so I'm not quite sure what deck they are using. So while we're just waiting, just drop a link to my YouTube channel into chat. There's some videos of play on there from the Crucible. I'll be posting some of this onto YouTube later, particularly that Restriguntus hardlock game, because that was a pretty great game to put up on the channel. Also, I've got some analysis up there of some of the mass mutation print and play decks, in fact the 4 mass mutation print and play decks, so that's been quite good. If you're interested, check those videos out. Try to keep them fairly short and sweet, but some interesting cards in those decks, and I think I'll do more of the analysis around mass mutation cards. Starting to get a bit more excited with the cards they've revealed, just to kind of see what's out there. So if you're interested, do check those videos out. Like I say, they're relatively short, but went through them. Also, I did a piece on the gigantic creatures, just some thoughts on those, and whether maybe there are going to be a few more. So again, if that's the sort of thing that interests you, please do check that out as well. I'm just checking what's happening. Looks like all of the games should have finished. Nope, still got one to go. I might just try and take us into that game just to see what's happening, because they should be pretty much at time. This looks like the one that's still in play, so let's see what's happening. Judges probably have called time. Okay, looks like they've called the game. Someone's won it. So let's drop back out. Hopefully that means the next round of games are going to come up pretty quickly. So I'll just drop back onto the deck preview, just as a bit of a holding screen while that's happening. And I'm just tracking on Discord what's going on. Okay, looks like the next round might have been posted. So I'm just going to jump into that game. So here we are, just waiting for my opponent to join. Okay, there they go. Better select my deck, and we're off. So good luck and have fun to them. Looks like they're going to be starting the game. See what we get. So I'm up against a World Collides deck S. Lich Bang Lagile de la Staduzia. Double Cutthroat Research, Hologramophone, Telltale Vapors, Babbling Bibliophile, Triple Titan Guardian, Neutron Shark. Okay, they've got a Tribute, Tertiate, Exile, Perfectus Ludo Shrix, Stenopius, Philophosaurus, so a pretty good spread in Saurian. Shadows, Hawk, Mug, Pestering Blows, Oubliette, Skeleton Key, Gambling Den, Key Forgery, Break Hill, a Ronnie and a Logos Plant. Okay. So just waiting for my opponent to get underway. So another pretty strong deck. I guess things I'll be looking out for. Key Forgery is very irritating, running obviously a bit of immediate steal. If they can get that Saurian board up and running, I could be in a bit of trouble if the Ludo's out. Axiom of Grisk to wipe me. Thero Centurion for some steal. Orator Hisaro, yep. So it's a really nice suite of cards. And those Titan Guardians, if they go well there, they're in the middle of the deck. Okay, not sure where my opponent is at the moment. For some reason they are not clicking that they're ready to play. So I'm not sure what's happening there. Okay, so not quite sure where my opponent is, which is a bit odd because they linked into the game pretty quickly. But then have disappeared. So not seeing any action happening. So this is a bit frustrating, but yeah, just waiting for them to set up. Just trying to send them a message, are they actually there? Oh, yeah, there we go. So we're underway. Okay. So they're going to go first. I think I will mulligan. Okay. Not the best hand to get up front. So they put Key Forgery out. So Key Forgery is one of those really irritating keys that can block you from forging. Now this would be great if I had a stronger suite to go with. But nothing really. So I think I'll be getting the key to this down and then although it sounds mental. Discard the gateway, discard the arise, and turn. Okay, so a little bit better. So if he puts a load of creatures into play, I'll probably be using my glorious view to just move me up a bit. Otherwise, let's see. So they're going Logos. Interesting. Hopefully this means there is a load of stuff coming out into play. Just the two. Babbling Bibliophile, Sanitation Engineer. Has he got anything that can hit me in my archives? Not really. So I definitely want to get rid of the Babbling Bibliophile. So I'll use the Twin Bolt for that. So I think I'll go Logos. Play the Twin Bolt Emission, get rid of the Babbling Bibliophile, get rid of the Sanitation Engineer, or at least damage it. Discard the Bouncing Deathquark. Play that now. I'm thinking I'll probably put the Guntus and discard that for now. I'm really hoping he goes big with the creatures and lets me bring out my glorious view. And of course I've got absolutely nothing else in Sanctum, so that's pretty frustrating. So 2 Amber to 1 Amber, not really got much on board. I could really do with him going a bit nuts in terms of getting creatures out. I can always key to Dis, where he's got a Hock, so some artifact control in his deck. I kind of wanted to save some of my board clears for once he gets his big Saurian lineup in play. But let's see if that's what happens on the next round, because I mean if they played out 4 or 5 Saurian creatures, then that would be really quite nasty. Just waiting for them to pick a house. Don't know if it's slow because of my connection or their connection. Just having a look. Let's put some of that background music back on while we're waiting. So interesting to see how this game's going to play out. I think I've not really had to face too many strong Saurian lineups with this deck when I've been practicing with it before. Be fun to see how it goes. I'm not quite sure why they're playing so slowly. Okay, I don't know if they're just thinking. Okay, there they go. So they've got the Orator Hasaro down. Bit of a strange call. Okay, I'll assume they're going to reap now with the Sanitation Engineer. I'm not quite sure why it's taking so long here, so apologies for the delay on stream. So they're going to tribute me. So that's actually good to get that out into play. I don't think they've got anything to hugely protect that. unless they're planning on pushing him across and, you know, exiling and then destroying him somehow. But Axiom of Grisk won't affect him. I'm just trying to see what they're probably looking to do. Exile him across, probably. Yeah, certainly interesting play here. Okay, so Philophosaurus coming down. Not quite sure why they didn't use the Orator Hisaro afterwards, which would have allowed them to cycle that. Okay, here comes the exile. Yep. Tricky. Tricky. Yep. So there's 4 amber of mine on there now. Not much I can do about it. So he used 4 cards last turn. Pretty early for the board drop. I think I'm in a bit of trouble here. Not really worth using the Glorious Few, because I'm pretty sure Sanitation Engineer's counting on my side now. I mean, he's going to kill it, that's for sure. So let's go Logos. No. Play Dimension Door. Fogify them so they can't fight me. And then I'm going to Reap. Probably get rid of End of this. And end my turn. Really want to keep Fear and Shula, so let's see how we're going. Okay. So 2 amber, but they've got that 4. So I'm assuming they're going after the Sanitation Engineer on this turn. Let's just see. I mean, the other option is to try and get something out from Shadows that's going to do some damage. They got the Neutron Shark, so maybe they could sacrifice that to pick something up. Yeah. Not too much happening here, just waiting to see how they're going. Quite a big pause between turns at the moment, don't know if that's the connection or something different. So just sitting here. They're playing pretty slowly, don't know if they're just thinking a lot about their turn. But you know, they set up a nasty play there with the Tribute bringing my amber onto their Sanitation Engineer, which they'd exalted with the Orator Hisaro, and then exiling it over to me. So they're sitting on 2 amber, but there's that 4 amber in play, and I'm going to struggle to deal with it. Okay, they're going Shadows. Let's see what they've got. Fine, Ronnie to steal 1. Pestering Blow comes down. So he's got the second Pestering Blow. No, Skeleton Key. Right, Long Fuse Mines into play. Deals 3 to each creature not on a flank. Oubliette they discard. I guess they don't want to purge any of theirs. So quite a lot, quite a lot of artifacts in play from them. Interesting. So Logos, so he's enraged the Sanitation Engineer, so that kind of spoils me trying to play that. Um, so Glorious View doesn't quite get me there. Played out a load of shadows. So I'm kind of guessing he's trying to get... I think I'm probably just going to go this here. Yeah, let's go this. Yes, I will take the Restriguntus. Right, so let's stop him picking. Stop him picking Saurians. And I want to keep Restriguntus on a flank. I should probably have played these down actually. I've made a bit of a misplay because I really wanted to keep Sanitation Engineer and Restriguntus on a flank, because he can definitely just pick off the Sanitation Engineer with the long fused mines. So he can't play Saurian. So let's just end my turn there and just see where we go. I think I made a bit of a mistake keeping the Glorious View. I was expecting him to play out a whole load of cards pretty quickly. Okay, here we go with the Neutron Shark. So, gets rid of the... okay, so he only gets to trigger it once because he's turned up a Titan Guardian, so, but he destroyed the Neutron Shark, so that's causing me a bit of a problem now. Still blocking them from playing Saurian. Cutthroat Research, so yeah, definitely a bit of an issue here. That play with the Tribute Exile on the Sanitation Engineers definitely done a lot of damage, giving them a big boost, which is going to be tricky for me to come back against. Let's see what they discarded. Breaker Hill and Hologramophone by the look of it. So they've still got to break my Guntus if they want to get Saurians in play. Right, so over to me. Can't really block him. Yeah, so I might just go this and just reap for 3, because I'm kind of hoping he's going to try and take out my board. Not really getting through my stuff, so let's use the action to steal 1. Reap. Reap. And end my turn. Doesn't get me onto check. Nothing really I can do to deal with his check. So down a key, he's on 2. They're on 2. I'm on 5 amber. Okay. So I could really kind of quite do with them taking out my Restriguntus and trying to put a load of big saurians on the board, hopefully. I'd be quite keen to then key to dis into Glorious Few. Or Glorious Few and then into key to dis. Let's see how they go. So it's just a bit of a gap really between plays here. So apologies for that. Just going to be seeing what they're up to. Just concerned with the lag, whether there's anything going on with people watching the stream, which would be a bit unfortunate. Okay, Titan Guardian out. So they can't play Sauron at the moment. Are they going to break the Guntus? Yeah. Okay. So I'm tempted to just bait the big turns. Steal, reap, end turn. So let's see what happens here. See if they can get me off check, or whether I can just stay on 1 key. They've got key forgery down, which is probably one of the most irritating cards in the game at the moment, I've got to say. Just in terms of blocking. So let's see what they are playing. So again, quite a long lag in the games. Don't know why it's taking them so long between turns at the moment. So they go Logos again. Another Titan Guardian going down. They've got 3 in this deck. Reap with the Igor. Reap with the Titan Guardian. Okay, choose a house. So, what have they got in hand? Probably a lot of Saurians. So I'll guess Saurian. So it was Hock, great. They've already played their tribute. I'm kind of not seeing too much. Ronnie's down, so I'm kind of feeling like I can just go for it. So I'll wipe the board here or just keep going. So I've got rid of their Hock, which is quite handy. I'll steal one, reap for one. I know I'm looking like I'm behind at the moment, but the fact that they've got Hock, so they can destroy my key to this, they can destroy one of theirs. Here we go with shadows. So hopefully this means they're going to put a few, there we go, there goes the Hock. Yep, so key to this is gone, which was how I was going to hopefully wipe their board. And my gateway to this has gone through, my hand of this has gone through, so I'm in a pretty weak position. I'm just relying on the fact they've not got a huge amount of amber control. And their Keyforgery's gone now, so let's see if they're going to put some more creatures into play, which would actually play to my favour. Reap with Ronnie. Play a Logos plant, fine. Great. So I get to forge. Then I think I'm going to be playing Sanctum. Get that glorious few out, which gains me 4 amber, puts me straight back into check. Get Secrus into play. And then I'll probably use the Pit Demon to steal one. So let's get Inspiration, Pit Demon, use its action to steal one. So it puts me back into check again straight away, and moves them down to 4. Okay, so let's see what comes through here. So Logos Plant's going to give them an amber. If I go Logos but double phase shift, and the 2 Ganymede Archivists, I need to kind of start cycling my deck. I guess that's my slight worry. So they go Logos. And could just reap for 3, I guess. Cutthroat Research, flips things around. Can they get me off check? Didn't spot the Cutthroat Research. Igor, reap, so they're now in a pretty strong position. So this is looking pretty nasty for me now. They're up to 11 amber. So I'm up a key. but on 0 amber, and they've pretty much got enough to get both their keys. So I'm looking at what I've got coming up in the draw, and I'm really needing that Arise and some ability to lock them out of the game at the moment, or in terms of redress, something that's going to help me steal. So I've got a lot of Sanctum still to come. So it looks like I'm going to have to go Logos, despite that giving them an extra amber. They're pretty much just going to call Logos next turn. I think I'm probably going to be out of luck on this game. It's got that distinct feeling. That it's just going to be a race, and unless I turn up something pretty special here, a 2-2-2 hand, which is really not what I wanted to see. So I can Arise back my Restriguntus. I could kill my Shula and then Arise it back to steal one. But they're so far ahead of me now that I really think it's game over. Yeah. It's just not enough in there. Needed really some of that terms of redress or something to come up that would let me capture a whole load. Nope. They're just too far ahead now. So yeah, it's been a good game. Didn't really get some of my best cards into play, but there's no way I can get 5 amber off them. Reap, archive a card. So I can capture one. I can destroy a few creatures. It's really not going to help. I could Arise my Guntus. I might just do that for fun, to be honest. There's not too much I'm going to be able to do here. So let's fight this boy into one of the Titan Guardians. Use my action to steal. Arise back my Dis. Play this again to steal another one. Play the Imp. It's all coming kind of a turn too late really though, isn't it? Unfortunately. And then I'd probably prevent them from running Logos and end the turn. And that's the game. Good game. Good game by them. Yeah, couldn't really deal with the Logos board once it got up and running, and really that Hock taking out my key to Dis was what killed it. If I'd been able to play that key to Dis, and maybe I held on too long to play the Glorious Few, but I maybe should have taken just a couple of amber, but was really hoping they were going to play a load of their creatures out and then get me a big amber boost to recover, and then wipe the board. But that Hock destroying my key to Dis when I'd already lost my gateway to Dis really caused me some problems. So that was it. Looks like we're 1 and 2 overall. So good game by them. 1 and 2, not bad showing overall. 2 and 1 was what was required to get you into the Shadow Worlds tournament. So pretty happy with how I did overall. Let me just go back to the deck I'd been using today. So there you go, that was the deck. Flexi Fiddler, Marks, Tidecrest, Arrowsmith, Dis, Logos Sanctum. Good win, got the Restriguntus lock off in the second game, so that was brilliant. Had a great game then. The other 2 games really struggled to get rolling up against some good opponents. They certainly played well, maybe made a few bad calls myself in terms of the timing, holding on to certain cards. In the first game I really needed to just cycle my deck more and didn't. In that last game I think I was holding out for a big glorious few play and it cost me in that I couldn't then get control of the board. Although I'd been worried about their Saurians, never really saw their Saurians come out into play. So that's all been great. Thanks very much to the KIP team for organising that tournament. Didn't quite make it through the last chance qualifier, but a really good setup that they've got there. So yeah, enjoyable, good play, looked like a pretty competitive field. So I think I'll finish up the stream there. Thanks for watching, hope you've enjoyed the videos. I'll try and get some of this onto YouTube, some of the plays, perhaps later. If you'd like the stream, then do subscribe, do follow me. I'll be trying to post a bit more Keyforge moving forward, but for today, I think that's probably it.